morning. After a bright start in eastern areas, rain already in central and western parts of the country will push east but leave a fair bit of sunshine behind, and it's going to remain mild for much of this week. I'll have all the details later in the programme. Good morning both, good morning to you too. Well, we're going to stick with this mild weather as we go through this week. Temperatures above average for the time of year. Looks like they'll peak probably on Wednesday, and that will be in the southeast where we could hit 17. Outside chance we might see an 18. But today what we have is a fair bit of cloud and a weather front producing some rain. Now that's going to be drifting eastwards, fizzling out as it does so, and then we'll see a fair bit of sunshine behind it. So ahead of it, we're looking at a bright and some sunny starts to the day in the east, but you can see where the weather front is drifting steadily towards the east, so it will cloud over here, but a lot of sunshine in its wake. We've got a little feature across the northwest of Scotland which will introduce a bit more cloud at times, and it could also produce the odd shower. Temperatures today ranging from 8 in Lerwick and Stornoway to 14 in Norwich and London. Yesterday the top temperature was actually 15.9 in parts of Norfolk, so we're not likely to see that today. Now through this evening and overnight we say goodbye to that weather front. There's clear skies for a time. We could see some mist and fog forming, but the wind is going to pick up, so by the end of the night that will no longer be an issue. And out towards the west the cloud will also thicken, and we'll see the arrival of some heavy rain accompanied by strengthening winds. Now through the course of tomorrow it'll be gusting to gale force. We'll have all this rain, particularly heavy across southwest Scotland, Cumbria and parts of Northern Ireland. Move south of that though, we've got something drier and brighter, particularly the further south and east that you do travel, and these are our temperatures, 8 in the north to 14 in the south. I'll have a longer weather forecast with more details in half an hour, but for now back to Charlie and Lou. Good morning both, good morning to you too. Well, as we go through this week, it is going to remain mild. Temperatures above average, really peaking probably midweek, but it's not going to be dry everywhere. There is some heavy rain which could exacerbate the flooding risk. It's also going to be windy Tuesday into Wednesday, but by the end of the week high pressure builds in, so it looks like it's going to be drier. Now to give you an idea of temperatures, this is the start of the week, but watch those colours, how they become deep red, not just in the UK but across much of Europe as well. Here's the key. So temperatures could get up to 17, possibly even 18 in the southeast. As I mentioned, it's not going to be bone dry. These are the rain anomalies. So look at all the blues, the keys up here again. But we start to see some greens appearing, particularly across parts of Western Scotland and Cumbria. So again, the risk of some flooding. Today there is some rain in the forecast. As it moves eastwards it's going to fizzle, and a lot of us will have a dry day with a fair bit of sunshine. So we're starting off on a bright note in the southeast. Here's our weather front producing the cloud and the rain, slowly moving towards the southeast, eradicating that bright start. But behind it the sun will come out and it will be dry for most. Across the northwest of Scotland we've got a small feature producing a bit more cloud and also the risk of a shower, and our temperature range 8 to 14. So once again above average for this stage in February. We say goodbye to that weather front tonight. We'll see some mist and fog form, but it won't last because the wind's going to strengthen from the west, and then we'll have the arrival of our next weather front introducing all this rain. Some snow above 500 or 600 metres. Now it's because we've got this deep area of low pressure with its various weather fronts bringing in the rain, and look at those isobars telling you that it is going to be windy on Tuesday. So looking at Tuesday's forecast, we start off on a dry note, the further east that you are, but we've got this heavy rain coming in from the west and also gales in the west as well through the Irish Sea and Western Scotland. Now in any sunshine, it will be a pleasant day, for example, in parts of the southeast with highs 13 or 14. We're seeing similar highs across the northwest. So again, temperatures above average, but not feeling as pleasant with all this rain around, and again the risk of localised flooding. We'll still have that rain around during the course of Wednesday in the northwest. It will still be windy but not as windy as it's going to be on Tuesday. Then things start to settle down as high pressure builds in. And one thing you will notice is the temperatures. So on Wednesday, somewhere in the southeast we could hit 17, maybe 18. But even as we go through the ensuing days into the weekend, and it looks like the start of next week will remain mild as well, temperatures are still above average. Now you'd have heard us talking in the weather last week about how cold it was in North America and of course Canada. Not unusual at this time of year, but it was particularly cold as we headed down towards Texas. These are shots of the Niagara Falls frozen Again, not unusual, you can see them here, not unusual at this time of year to see them frozen, but nonetheless, still pretty spectacular, Lou and Charlie. Oh, good morning. Temperatures this week will remain above average for the time of year. There's more rain in the forecast. Today we've got a band of rain pushing eastwards with a fair bit of sunshine behind it. I'll have all the details later on in the programme. Morning everybody. This morning it's a beautiful start to the day in Eastbourne, as you can see from one of our Weather Watchers pictures, and for many of us it is a dry start, but we do have a weak weather front across some central and eastern areas that's moving eastwards, and it's taking some rain with it, albeit increasingly light and patchy. So a bright start in East Anglia and the southeast before the cloud and rain marches in as we go through the morning and into the afternoon. But behind that, for much of the UK, it will be dry with some sunshine. Small feature across the northwest of Scotland producing a bit more cloud, and you could catch the odd shower from that. Temperatures in Lerwick and Stornoway, 8 degrees, 10 in Aberdeen, but 13 in London as we go through the course of the afternoon. Now, heading on into the evening, we say goodbye to the weather front. We'll see some mist and fog patches forming, but the wind's going to strengthen. So by the end of the night, they will have gone. And we're also looking at strengthening winds, especially out towards the west, accompanied by all this rain. Snow above about 500 or 600 metres, and that will be with us as we start the day tomorrow. But we've got all this rain coming in. Some of that will be heavy across Northern Ireland, Cumbria, southwest Scotland. And once again, there's the risk of flooding. Gales out towards the west, but the further south and east that you travel, the drier and brighter it's likely to be. And in that sunshine, we could see temperatures up to about 14 degrees, as we could in Hull. And although temperatures will be not too far off that across parts of the north and west, it won't feel so good in all this rain. And worth mentioning that it looks like on Wednesday we could see the highest temperatures of this week, in fact, of this year, with temperatures in the southeast could get up to 17, maybe 18 degrees. Lou and Charlie.
Carol, thanks very much. See you later on.
Too bad, actually. Good morning, everybody. Today there will be quite a bit of sunshine around. We do have a weather front which is producing some rain. That's moving eastwards. So after a bright start in the east, well, this weather front will push over, introducing cloud and some light rain. Ridge of high pressure keeping things settled, but this area of low pressure is coming our way later tonight. So to start with, it is a bright start in East Anglia and the southeast, but the cloud will come across. We'll see some rain. Behind that, a lot of dry weather and a fair bit of sunshine. A bit more cloud across northwest Scotland. That could produce 1 or 2 showers through the day, with highs between 7 and 12 or 13 degrees. Now, through this evening and overnight, we see the dregs of that weather front move away. There'll be some mist and fog patches forming for a time, but as winds strengthen, they will tend to disappear, and then you can see all this rain coming in from the west, accompanied by those strengthening winds. So as a result, not a particularly cold night. So this is the area of low pressure coming our way tomorrow. Various fronts around it. Look at all those isobars. It's going to be windy wherever you are, gusty winds, but we're also looking at some heavy rain and some snow above about 500 or 600 metres. So the further south and east that you are tomorrow, the drier and brighter it's likely to be. Out towards the west, we do have that heavy rain, especially across Northern Ireland, southwest Scotland, and also northwest England. Northwest Wales not immune to it either, enhancing the risk of localised flooding. The black circles represent the strength of the wind gusts, so you can see it is pretty windy wherever you are, but especially out towards the west. And temperature-wise, well, 8 in Lerwick to highs of widely 12s, 13s and 14s. These temperatures are above average for the time of the year. We're looking normally in Edinburgh, for example, 7.8. Belfast, 8 degrees would be the average. Cardiff, it would be 8.6, as it would be in London. Now, it's really on Wednesday that we start to see the temperatures romp up in the southeast in the sunshine. Out towards the west, though, we've got a weather front still producing rain in very similar areas to Tuesday. So again, exacerbating that risk of flooding across southwest Scotland and Cumbria in particular. But temperature-wise, well, we could hit 16, maybe 17, possibly. There's an outside chance we could even see an 18 degrees in the forecast somewhere in the southeast. Now, on Thursday, as high pressure starts to develop across us, what you'll find is things become more settled. Yes, there will be areas of cloud, and yes, there'll be some outbreaks of light rain or indeed some showers across the north and the northwest of Scotland, and temperatures start to slip. Now, they might be going down, but they still are above average for the end of February, and you can see 8 to about 14 degrees. And this settled weather looks at the moment like it is going to continue into the weekend. Lou and Charlie.
Ooh,
We've just had the warmest day of this year so far. Yesterday in parts of Norfolk, the temperature reached 15.9 Celsius. The mild weather is set to continue this week, but it's not going to be bone dry. Some of us will see some heavy rain. I'll have all the details later in the programme. Lou is quite right, and as we go through this week, that mild theme will continue, probably peaking round about Wednesday, but that doesn't mean the temperatures will fall below average. In fact, they still will be above average even into next weekend. Today, it's mostly dry and sunny, but there is some rain around. Here it is here. It's not particularly heavy, and it's going to continue to journey into the southeast. So after a bright start, it will cloud over for you with some rain. Whereas behind it, for much of the UK, it's going to be a dry day, and also we'll see a fair bit of sunshine. But across the northwest of Scotland here, there's a wee bit more cloud, and you could just see the odd shower. Nothing wrong with these temperatures if you like it a bit milder for the time of year. We're looking at 8s in the north to 11s, 12s and 13s, maybe a 15 in the southeast. Now we say goodbye to that front through this evening. We'll see some mist and fog patches form, a lot of dry weather, but it won't last, the mist and fog that is, because the wind's going to strengthen, and especially so out towards the west, and we've got all this rain coming our way. So it's not a particularly cold night that we're looking forward to. Tomorrow we still will have all this rain, exacerbating the flooding risk across parts of Northern Ireland, Northwest Wales potentially, Northwest England and also Southwest Scotland. Gales in the west push further towards the southeast, and you've got drier and brighter conditions. It will be breezy, and here we've got temperatures about 12 to 14 degrees, and in the north under all that rain, 8 to about 13. But as I mentioned, Lou and Charlie, the mild theme does continue. Very well, thank you, Charlie. And the weather is looking fairly settled for most of us as well. What we have today is a band of rain moving eastwards. It's fairly light rain. Then behind it, a lot of dry weather, a lot of sunshine and remaining mild. Yesterday, we had the warmest day of this year so far, 15.9 Celsius in Weyburn. In Norfolk, what you may well find is the temperature will get higher by the time you get to Wednesday. So let me show you the temperature anomalies. As we head to the middle of the week, look how this chart turns red, not just in the UK, but across much of Europe as well. And then towards the end of the week, we see the yellows return. Temperatures will still be above average. They just won't be as high as some of us will see during the course of Wednesday. But it doesn't mean it's going to be bone dry. In fact, it's anything but for some. These are the rainfall amounts, the keys at the top. Look at the greens across parts of Western Scotland and Cumbria. Much more rainfall than we'd expect at this time of year. The risk of flooding is real, whereas in the southeast, well, we're below average in terms of rainfall. Now, what we have today is this weather front, which is steadily moving towards the east. Fairly light rain on it, and behind it, well, brighter skies, some sunshine, a bit more cloud across the northwest, means you could see some showers in northwest Scotland as we go through the course of the day, with temperatures 8 to about 13, maybe 15 in the southeast. We say goodbye to that weather front tonight. There'll be a time when we could well see some mist and fog patches form, but they won't last because the wind is going to strengthen, more especially out towards the west, and that's going to be accompanied by some heavy rain. Now we'll have some snow above about 500 or 600 metres, so that really is pretty high. Tomorrow, this area of low pressure, which is a potent one, dominates our weather. It brings in its weather fronts with all this rain, and look at the isobars across the board. Wherever you are tomorrow, you'll notice the gusty winds, but the strongest winds to gale force will be out towards the west, and here we'll have the heaviest rain. So as we saw earlier, across parts of southwest Scotland into Cumbria, northwest Wales, we could see a lot of rain. There's the risk of localised flooding. Push towards the southeast, it's a drier picture, but don't forget, wherever you are, it's going to be windy with temperatures 8 to about 14 degrees. Now on Wednesday, we still will have some rain across the north and the west of the country. Some of that still heavy, again exacerbating the flooding risk. The winds won't be as strong. As we come towards the southeast, drier. Look at that temperature, 17. Potentially we might hit 18. And although things settle down towards the end of the week as high pressure builds across us, the temperatures will slip down, but they are still above average. Very roughly speaking, the average across the UK is between 8 and 9 degrees at this time of year. So that's mild. I want to show you something that is the opposite. These are pictures of the Niagara Falls. Part of them are frozen. Now, that's not unusual at this time of year. And as you know from all the pictures last week, Canada and North America have both been bitterly cold. We saw the snow on the beaches in Texas, but they are pretty. Look at this, Lou and Charlie. Wow.
It's absolutely wonderful. It sort of looks like flowing ice, doesn't it?
It'd be a bit bracing if you went right underneath it, Carol, wouldn't it? A bit bracing.
Yes, it would be, Charlie. You'd be frozen.
Thank you very much. Thank you.